My name is Brian Wyrick, and we're at Harlequin Produce in Arlee, Montana. I'm one of the head farmers here at Harlequin Produce.
My name is Kaylee Hess. We run a 15-acre certified organic vegetable farm. We market to the Western Montana Growers Co-op, we run a community-supported agriculture program, and we sell at the Clark Fork Market in Missoula. Out in this field we have beets and salad, kale, chard, radishes. We also grow broccoli and cauliflower, tomatoes, carrots, onions, cabbage, potatoes, corn, peppers. Pretty much most of the regular stuff you see at the grocery store we grow.
My name is Austin Allen, and I am the Soil Conservation Technician in the Ronan Field Office with the Natural Resources Conservation Service. The very first project I worked with Harlequin Produce on was looking at a soil test, and they had something kind of funky going on in their soil, and we worked together to kind of figure out what was going on in this particular high tunnel, and then developed a nutrient management plan to meet the needs of the crops that they were growing that year. Another one of my favorites that I've worked with Harlequin Produce on is cover cropping. They typically have several goals that they like to achieve to build their soil, and also to compete with weeds and provide habitat for pollinators and that sort of thing. Working with them on specifics like learning how they're going to seed it, how much water is going to be applied to it. We've developed a couple of mixes that work for them.
We have really light soils that are pretty gravelly, and so water management is critical and nutrient management is really critical to watch.
We've tried to manage cover cropping to increase our organic matter. So we'll use winter rye and peas pretty often as a winter seeded cover crop that then we'll mow down in July. And sometimes we'll let it go so that when we mow it, it'll reseed and we won't have any tillage during that time period. So it can go through a period of where it's untilled, undisturbed for a couple of years. I think the most beneficial part of working with the NRCS is that we've gotten funded for projects that we would not normally have done, that have really increased the diversity of the farm and increased our profitability as well. I think the shelter belts are a particular example of increasing some diversity. We've got them in 4 of our fields, and so we see a lot of pollinators visiting them. We also see a lot of birds, some songbirds. This year we got funded for a new high tunnel, so we'll be starting to work on that this fall.
The High Tunnel Initiative provided funds for Harlequin Farms to install a 72 by 30 foot high tunnel, which is 2,160 feet. That allowed them to have a protected space to grow vegetables and increase the quality of their produce.
Yeah, having these high tunnels is really important to capture the early market. Customers always want stuff just as early as possible and as long a season as possible as well. So the high tunnels allow us to yield more per square foot than we can do out in the field too, just because they're so productive.
With irrigation water management, we've been able to install sensors in the soil that tracks the moisture that's actually in the soil so that they can apply irrigation water so that plants aren't stressed, and so it in the end produces a beautiful product that people want to buy at farmers markets and with the growers cooperative.
And it's the same idea where you want to have your roots kind of all in line. So I use my thumb and forefinger as like a holding place, kind of similar to turnips. And that just helps keep the roots all lined up.
Brian and Kaylee have a unique perspective on farming, and they practice agroecology, and that takes into account plants and animals, and humans and animals, and the relationship between all of those things. And so they garner a relationship that allows different things to proliferate, and they manage pests a different way than others. So instead of just doing a blanket application of something, they go out and take the best management practice to value microorganisms and mycorrhizal fungi in the soil.
The support of the NRCS is great. We really have enjoyed working with the NRCS.
Our opportunities have kept on opening up to us, and we find it interesting, the challenges, and rewarding in the end when you have a good season.